What's up, Steelers fans? Today's episode is packed with updates, and trust me, you want to stick around for every bit of it. With the 2025 NFL Draft now behind us, we're looking at a much clearer picture of what this Pittsburgh Steelers roster is going to look like heading into the offseason program. The draft was the last real shot to bring in new names with serious potential, and now it's time to break things down, position by position, to see where this team stands and what it might become by the time September rolls around. Let's not waste any time and get straight into the offense, because this year's setup is looking particularly fascinating. At quarterback, things are crowded, but also kind of uncertain, and that's where the drama really starts. Right now, on paper, the room consists of Mason Rudolph, Skylar Thompson, and rookie Will Howard. But if we're being completely honest here, it seems highly unlikely that any of those three will be under center as the starter in Week 1. No offense to them, but there's a big shadow looming over that position, and it's shaped like two very familiar names, Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins. The rumors have been swirling, and the general vibe around the league is that Rodgers is the more likely option for Pittsburgh. Word is the front office is prepared to offer him a one-year deal worth somewhere around $10 million, which is a pretty solid deal for a veteran quarterback coming in to potentially make one last run. But there's always the wild card. If Rodgers wakes up one morning and decides he's had enough of football, Cousins could quickly become the backup plan. And in that case, the move would likely involve trading a conditional 6th-round pick, which could become a 4th-rounder depending on performance and snap counts, in exchange for the veteran passer. So Steelers Nation, here's the question. Who would you rather roll with as your starting QB in 2025? Would you hand Rodgers $10 million for one last ride? Or would you ship off a late-round pick to bring Cousins into the black and gold? Either way, it's going to be a defining move for this team, and the comment section is wide open for your takes. Looking deeper at the QB room, assuming Rodgers does end up signing, he's the obvious starter. Mason Rudolph slides comfortably into the backup role, and rookie Will Howard, drafted in the 6th round out of Ohio State, becomes the developmental guy. He'll get to sit, learn, absorb the game from the sidelines, and develop behind two seasoned veterans. That's actually not a bad setup for a young quarterback in this league. Skylar Thompson? Unfortunately, his spot on the final roster looks unlikely at this point, unless something unexpected happens during the preseason. Now let's talk wide receivers, and this group is quietly shaping up to be one of the strongest in recent Steelers memory. The headline names are there. DK Metcalf and George Pickens lead the way as the top duo. That right there already gives the offense two physical, explosive, and dynamic threats on the outside. But it doesn't stop there. Calvin Austin, 3, brings speed and quickness out of the slot. Roman Wilson, the rookie out of Michigan, is already turning heads with his route running and body control. Robert Woods adds a veteran presence, someone who knows how to move the chains and find soft spots in coverage. And then there's Ben Skowronek, not a name that jumps off the page for casual fans, but he's a. Moving on to the backfield, and let me tell you, there's a lot to like here too. Jaylen Warren and Caleb Johnson are expected to be the main duo, echoing the kind of rotation we saw in previous years with Najee Harris and Warren. But this time around, Jaylen might be the guy getting the first-team reps out of the gate. That said, don't count out Johnson. There's a growing belief that he could overtake the starting role before the season is over, especially if he shows out early and stays healthy. He's got a physical running style that meshes well with what the Steelers like to do offensively. Behind them, Kenneth Gainwell offers an intriguing option as a third-down back. He's got soft hands, quick feet, and knows how to find daylight in the screen game. Cordarrelle Patterson is still hanging around, though it's unclear if he'll make the final cut. His versatility is appealing. Return game, gadget plays, occasional carries. But his age and contract might work against him. Then there are guys like Jayad Ward and Aaron Champlain who are on the bubble and fighting for depth roles, but could easily be among the first cuts if things don't go their way in camp. Now let's shift to the tight end and fullback roles. Pat Freiermuth remains the clear number 1 tight end. Strong hands, great after the catch, and a real red zone threat. Darnell Washington is right behind him, bringing a massive frame and tremendous blocking ability. Connor Hayward is that hybrid piece, listed as a tight end, but capable of lining up as a fullback or H-back in certain formations. Expect all three to make the final roster. That trio gives the Steelers a nice mix of receiving threat, blocking capability, and versatility in multiple sets. And then there's the offensive line, which, frankly, might be the biggest X factor for this offense. The good news? There's a solid mix of youth and talent here. The concern? That youth needs to step up and prove itself. Let's start with Broderick Jones. He was drafted to be the franchise left tackle, and after 2 shaky seasons at right tackle, the expectation is that he finally moves to his natural spot and delivers. The coaching staff is putting their faith in him. Now it's up to him to rise to the challenge. On the opposite side, Troy Fautanu was a first-round pick this year and brings both size and athleticism to the tackle position. His biggest hurdle is staying healthy, something he struggled with at times in college. If he can stay on the field, he's got the tools to be a long-term solution. Zach Frazier was one of the best centers in college football and now steps into that role after being taken in the 2nd round. He's tough, smart, and has leadership qualities that coaches love. Mason McCormick is expected to start at right guard after a developmental year, and the front office seems to believe he's ready to take that next step. Then you've got veterans like Milo Eifler, who brings steadiness and depth to the group. If the young core can mesh and improve quickly, this offensive line has the potential to be one of the surprise units in the league. But that's a big if. Jones needs to prove he can handle elite edge rushers. Fautanu must stay healthy and anchor his side. McCormick has to eliminate the mistakes that plague his early appearances. The talent is there. Now it's about execution. As for the offense as a whole, it all hinges on 2 major factors: quarterback performance and offensive line consistency. If Aaron Rodgers or even Kirk Cousins can stay healthy and play near their previous level, and if this young offensive line can come together, then this offense could be something special. They've got the weapons. They've got the scheme. The coaching staff is finally working with players who fit the vision they've had since day one. This year, expect more outside zone runs, deeper play action passes, and a greater emphasis on attacking the middle of the field. It's a more aggressive, modern system, and if everything clicks, this group can put up points in bunches. There's a chance to recapture a bit of that magic we saw in 2009, with flashes of what made the Steelers competitive in 2020, 2021, and even parts of 2022. But it all comes back to the trenches and the guy taking the snaps. If those pieces fall into place, the Steelers' offense could finally stop being the team's weak link and start being the reason they win games again. And that's just the offense. Stay tuned, because coming up next, we're going to dig into the defense, a unit that's been the pride of Pittsburgh for decades and could be the key to unlocking this team's full potential in 2025. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Pittsburgh is celebrating like never before, and for good reason. One of the biggest stars in the NFL, Tyreek Hill, is now officially a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the league, the franchise known for its historic defenses and hard-nosed football has just added one of the most explosive offensive weapons the game has ever seen. The news broke early this morning, and fans have flooded social media, bars, and team stores with sheer excitement and disbelief. Tyreek Hill, known for his lightning speed and game-breaking ability, now wears the black and gold. The acquisition marks a turning point for the Steelers, who have been rebuilding their identity on offense in recent years. With Hill in the mix, Pittsburgh immediately becomes a serious contender in the AFC. After years of relying on young talent and a defense-first approach, the arrival of Hill brings a dynamic presence that can tilt the field at any moment. His ability to stretch defenses, turn short passes into touchdowns, and electrify special teams makes him a threat every time he touches the ball. Team officials have remained tight-lipped about the details of the trade, but sources say the Steelers were aggressive in making this deal happen. Head coach Mike Tomlin, often praised for his leadership and ability to connect with players, now has a superstar wide receiver to work with, and one who thrives in high-pressure situations. Hill's addition also gives quarterback Kenny Pickett a premier target, potentially unlocking a new level in the young passer's development. As news spreads across Pittsburgh, the energy is undeniable. Fans are dreaming of playoff runs, highlight reel plays, and a return to Super Bowl contention. It's been years since the city buzzed with this level of optimism. With Tyreek Hill donning the Steelers jersey, one thing is clear. The standard is the standard, and the standard just got a lot faster. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.